Hello guys, this is what if Deku had the same quirk as Eraserhead. Now during this story, Eraserhead will be Izuku's dad from now on. So let's get started. It starts with Izuku praising Kacchan for his quirk as Bakugo redeveloped it. He immediately says, a kid version, he says, "Well, Kacchan, you have a cool quirk. I want a quirk just like that." Immediately, Bakugo just says, "Whatever, Deku. No matter what quirk you get, I'm still gonna have a better one." Izuku gets happy, but when he gets too happy from a thing, Bakugo immediately says, "Whatever, Deku. Maybe you will be quirkless and won't even have a quirk, you loser." With a single sentence, Izuku gets mad and immediately awakens his quirk. Bakugo sees it and he says, "Oh, Deku actually developed the quirk. I have to tell everybody." Immediately, Izuku is confused and he says, "Kacchan, I did? But what happened?" Before anything, Bakugo just says, "Come on, let's fight. Let's see what your quirk is." He tries to throw an explosion, but learns that it's not working. He keeps doing it, but still knows that somehow it's just not working. Immediately, Izuku's confused. He throws a few punches, but before his quirk could deactivate when he blinks. Then after that, Bakugo gets to throw an explosion. As Bakugo's confused what his quirk is, he says, "What, Deku? Is that actually your quirk? Somehow I couldn't throw an explosion. Maybe it is your quirk. Cool, I'm ready. I can't believe what the doctor's gonna say." Immediately, Izuku gets home, and his mom says, "Hey, Izuku, it's your lucky day. We're gonna see what quirk you have." Immediately, Izuku says, "I already have a quirk. I just want to know how big it is." Immediately, the doctor says, "Izuku has a quirk. His quirk is easy. When he triggers his eyes from stress or from getting angry, it could slow down people's quirk. How much people, as long as it's in his distance of sight. But if he does blink once, then after that the quirk would undo, giving the people's quirk back. Just in case, your son is magnificent. Anyway, whatever's gonna happen." Immediately, Izuku is super psyched and he's all just, "I had the same quirk as my dad." Immediately, Izuku is super happy before Mr. Aizawa comes in and says, "Okay, what's all the rush about?" Immediately, Izuku's mom says, "Can't you believe it? Midoriya actually had a quirk." Immediately, he's happy and he says, "So what quirk is it?" She says, "Oh, it's the same quirk as yours." He's surprised and happy. Without a single stare, he immediately looks at Izuku and says, "Well, your quirk will be great, but people are have still more skill than you. It won't work out that good. Why don't we start training tomorrow?" And immediately, Izuku's really excited. Before anything, he trains the biggest he can until he wants to go to his dad's job to see what he does. Before anything, he immediately smiles at Izuku and says, "Well, you can go." Immediately, Izuku is really psyched. He'll say, "Well, I would tell mommy that I was sick. I promise. Just let me go. Without a single thing, he says, "Okay, you come, just because I don't want to hear your voice again. Just try to be quiet." Immediately, while he goes, he learns that his dad is a UA teacher. He's immediately like, well, I knew you worked for UA, but I didn't know you was a teacher. Immediately, he steps into class. Without a single trace. He comes in. Immediately, he sights things out. Wow, so you guys are going to become future heroes? Immediately, a kid with yellow hair steps in, and he says, hello, I'm Mario. You must be Izuku, the son of Mr. Aizawa. Well, how's your day? And nice to meet you, I guess. I'm not really good at conversation. Immediately, Izuku's all psyched, things are just, wow, you are so cool. And what's your costume? What do you look like? Wow, I'm actually seeing kids that are older than me now. He's really excited as the other two kids come in and they introduce themselves. Immediately, when it's lunchtime, Mr. Aizawa says, okay, you have to go back home. Your mom will be pretty scared then. Immediately, Izuku says, no, I want to stay here. But immediately, just tells him, it's okay, just go home. Now that's the kid era. Now let's start at the beginning. Immediately, Izuku's in his class, and Bakugo says, after training, of course, Bakugo says, can't you believe it? Me and Deku are probably like the best ones out of all of you. Immediately, Bakugo gets over his temper, and starts throwing explosions everywhere. Before anything, Izuku gets mad and immediately triggers up his eyes, stopping Bakugo from probably destroying the whole entire class. Immediately, he says, Ka-chan, well, just in case, we shouldn't make other students mad at us. As the other kids look at him, they get mad. Before anything, Izuku's ready to go. He comes through an alleyway before a sludge villain attacks. As Izuku looks, he has already got caught. But before anything, Izuku immediately triggers his quirk. As we don't know what the sludge villain's quirk is, we're just going to say that he's probably a normal person who could transform into sludge. Immediately from this, he triggers his quirk, making the sludge villain come back to a normal person. As he's confused about what happened, Izuku attacks him, knocking him out as the only reason why he was good at being a villain was because of his sludge. Izuku immediately is happy. Before All Might comes in, he says, wow, I saw your fight. It was quicker than I expected. That's one quirk. I pretty much know a person just like that. Anyway, I am gonna leave now. Immediately, Izuku says, excuse me, All Might. Well, I'm Izuku Midoriya. Just in case, can I become a hero? Immediately, All Might says, of course you can, young Midoriya. Your quirk is impressive. Immediately, he jumps out, leaping. Before anything, Izuku is really happy and he comes back home. Before anything, he was gonna train forever. Before anything, him and Bakugo does his training and they clean up the beach. Before anything, Mr. Aizawa comes out and he says, okay, so I'm gonna train both of you, especially you, Izuku, to help your skills from multiple attacks of training. Immediately, everybody is ready. But before anything, as Bakugo leaves, saying, well, you better catch up, nerd. Izuku's ready to go with him until Mr. Aizawa says, I'm gonna tell you something. really quick before anything. He immediately gives him one of his scarves and says, "Okay, after you finish this test, we're gonna train harder." Immediately Izuku gets happy and runs out. While he's walking with Bakugo, he slips on a rock only just for Chakra Maraka to carry him. She immediately says, "Well, if I wasn't there, then I guess you will have fallen." Immediately Izuku is happy and says, "Well, anyway, thank you." He immediately leaves and says, "I'll repay you sometime." As he walks away, he learns about the graduation test. Immediately he says, "Excuse me, I am my guy. Before anything, I'm going to teach you how to use your quirks." And that's the thing that everybody wants, right? Of course you guys do. So let's get started. Before anything, let's get started on the robots. He explains the robots, and now it's time to fight. Izuku does get scared as he notices that these robots don't have any quirks. So he has to do it on brute force himself. Before anything, one person zooms with a laser coming by. He says, "Well, you help me as you as the target, kind of as bait, and I'll come in. But anyway, bye." Immediately Izuku's confused, but only knows that there's actually something like a shield from the robot. He picks it up and says, "Well, I guess I'm not using my quirk." Without some traces, Izuku destroys multiple robots with the shield. Before there's the big one, immediately Izuku's ready to run until he sees a girl, the same girl that saved him. Without hesitation, he runs as fast as he can. Immediately from the stars, I was saying this, he immediately says, "Kid, get out of there!" But as Izuku keeps rushing, the robot gets closer. Without a single trace, Izuku decides to lift up the boulders, only knowing that the robot's getting even closer. Before anything, he throws the shield at the robot's legs, knocking it off his balance and landing in a building. Izuku immediately lifts up the two rocks and carries the Chakra Maraka as the robot slowly gets up, and he runs to the exit. Before anything, my guy says, "Okay, stop." The robot immediately shuts off, and Izuku holds the Chakra Maraka and says, "Are you okay? Where does it hurt?" Immediately, Chakra Maraka says, "I think I have a sore leg." Before anything, the nurse lady comes in and heals the Chakra Maraka. Izuku immediately says, "Thank you." Immediately he says, "Thank you." Immediately he comes back. He gets the point and he graduates. And then after that, All Might says, and he says, "Now you finally became a hero, Izuku Midoriya." Izuku's immediately happy and smiles. Before anything, they come back. Immediately, Shotaizawa congratulates him with his favorite food as Izuku eats all of it. Immediately he says, "Okay, are you ready for some scarf training?" without anything. Izuku knows that his training isn't gonna be easy. And Shota Izawa immediately says, "Okay, Izuku, anyway, even though you're my son, I will still have to treat you like the other students. So no matter what, you aren't gonna pass." Immediately, Izuku is confused, but he's pretty excited too. Without hesitation, he knows that he won't get rid of the ball throw. So he tries to make sure that he knows a kid that can't throw the ball faster than him. Immediately, he's a person with half of his hair hot and the other half cold. As he's ready and he's about to freeze the ball with the ice sculptor that he's later gonna bounce off, immediately Izuku shuts off his quirk. As he throws it, he learns that it falls. Izuku throws it away and says, "Well, my quirk doesn't help with that." Before anything, it's a race with him and Bakugo. Immediately, he shuts off Bakugo's quirk and outruns him. And says, "What's wrong, Kachan?" After he outruns Bakugo, he immediately gets ready for other things. He squeezes it the same, and he does get angelic. Actually, he got into the second last place, only above a kid named Moneta. Immediately, he starts whining about how he doesn't want to get expelled. But before anything, Mr. Aizawa just holds him by his head and says, "It's okay, kid. You won't get expelled. This was only for practice." He didn't know. I want you guys all to do hard. Go plus ultra, right? Right. As everybody's excited, they immediately leave at the building. And that's where we're going to leave it off. Sorry that this was a quick one. There was not that much to say. Bye.